degrees and the coordinate of a unit circle. So let's go. So first we'll talk about the coordinate. So in unit circle coordinates, the unit circle showing coordinates and angle measures of uncertain points. We can find the coordinates of any point on this unit circle given any angle t. We can find the x or y coordinate that point using x cosine tx equals cosine t and y sine tx dy equals sine t. So a unit circle is a circle whose radius is equal to 1 and whose center is the origin defined as x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. So the special triangle is 36 90 triangles. The length of the triangle opposite to 30 degrees is 1 half. The length of the hypotenuse is 1 and the illustrated angle of the form 180 degrees and 30 and 180 degrees and 60 degrees. So in this example, this is the example of uh, this is the example of 36 39 60 90 triangles. So the opposite of 30 is 1 half and the opposite of 60 is the square root of 3 over 2. And then the radius is 1, which is the hypotenuse. And in 45 45 90 triangles, the length of the two legs are equal. So the lengths of the two legs are equal. So this is square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. And the radius or the hypotenuse is 1. And angles of form 180 degrees and 45 degrees. So that is the special triangle. Next. So this is the coordinates and degrees of a unit circle. So in quadrant 1, the value is the cosine is positive and the sine is positive. While the quadrant 2, the cosine is negative and the sine is positive. In quadrant 3, both cosine and sine is negative. In quadrant 4, the cosine is positive and the sine is negative. So let me start in 30 degrees or pi over 6. So the coordinate of pi over 6 or 30 degrees is the cosine is square root of 2 over square root of 3 over 2 and the sine is 1 half. And 45 degrees or pi over 4, the coordinate is the cosine is square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is also square root of 2 over 2. The 60 degrees or pi over 3, the cosine is 1 half and the sine is square root of 3 over 2. And then the 190 degrees or 1 half, the cosine is 0 and the sine is 1. So in quadrant 2, we have 120 degrees, 135 degrees, and 150 degrees. So in 120 degrees or 2 pi over 3, the cosine is 1 half and the sine is square root of 2 over 2. So the cosine is negative 1 half. In 135 degrees is 3 pi over 4, the cosine is negative square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is positive square root of 2 over 2. In 150 degrees or pi over 6, the cosine is negative square root of 3 over 2 and the sine is positive 1 half. So in 180 degrees or pi, the cosine is negative 1 half and the sine is 0. So in quadrant 3, we have 210 degrees, 225 degrees, and 240 degrees. So the coordinates of 210 degrees or 7 pi over 6 is the cosine is negative square root of 3 over 2 and the sine is negative 1 half. In 225 degrees or 5 pi over 4, the cosine is negative square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is negative square root of 2 over 2. And 240 degrees or 4 pi over 3, the cosine is 1 half and the sine is square root of negative square root of 3 over 2. The cosine is 1 half. So in 270 degrees or 3 pi over 2, the cosine is 0 and the sine is negative 1 half. So in quadrant 4, we have 300 degrees, 315 degrees, and 330 degrees. So the coordinate of 300 degrees or 5 pi over 3 is the cosine is positive 1 half and the sine is negative square root of 3 over 2. 315 degrees or 7 pi over 4, the cosine is square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is negative square root of 2 over 2. 330 degrees or 11 pi over 6, the coordinate of the cosine is square root of 3 over 2 and the sine is negative 1 half. So in 0 degrees, the cosine is 1 and the sine is 0. So example, how to find the coordinate of 405 degrees. So we need to find first the reference angle. So the reference angle of 45 degrees is 45 degrees. And we all know that 45 degrees is square root of 2 over 2. The cosine is square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is also square root of 2 over 2. So which is in quadrant 1. So 405 degrees is quadrant 1. So the value of quadrant 1 is the cosine is positive and the sine is also positive. So the cosine is square root of 2 over 2 and the sine is also square root of 2 over 2. So the coordinate of 405 is square root of 2 over 2 and square root of 2 over 2. So that's all. Thank you.